So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Chris Lamoureux from Coldwell Banker Home Source, who's going to give us an update on the housing market. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. Excited to talk about the residential housing market. I'm going to share my screen here. All right, we are go on the screen. So let's quickly take a look at how 2019 ended. In general, home pricing was strong. The borrowing rate was the lowest since 1969. Inventory extremely tight. We had positive economic indicators and consumer confidence was high, right? So a lot of that is still in effect now. Let's take a closer look at that. So let's start with California numbers. In 2019, 397,000 homes sold in California, which was a slight drop of 1.2% over prior year. And the California Association of Realtors attributes that largely due to the shortage of housing inventory. California also had its first double-digit increase in price in more than 5.5 years. The median price increased 10% from December of 2018, the largest since May of 2014. And for the year of 2019, the median price was $592,000, up 4% over the prior year. December sales specifically was up 7.4% from prior year. So let's take a look at some more recent numbers as how April 2020 closed out. The statewide median home price was $606,000, so obviously up from that $592,000 and as we closed the year out, down only 1% from March and yet still up 0.6% over April of prior year. The statewide sales were down a little bit in April over last year and seasonally adjusted down 25% from March over from last year. But that is attributed, as Jason mentioned, we have a housing shortage. We have a shortage of inventory. So if there are no homes to sell, our sales will dip, but our pricing is strong. And another positive indication is that mortgage applications have increased in April. That's just last month they increased. So we're seeing that on the front line too. We have a strong buyer demand. And I've kind of highlighted here, you can see regionally, the Inland Empire and San Bernardino counties. You can see that, for example, Inland Empire last April, 378,000 was the median. This April showed 390,000. In San Bernardino County, 305,000 last year, 325 this year. So pricing is increasing at a slight rate, which we feel is a stable market, of course. Let's take a look at days on market. They did fall significantly for California, statewide and regionally. And inventory, like I said in the last slide, is down considerably because we have a decrease in listings. And the inventory, you can see California reported 3.4 months in April, which is up from 2.7 months in March. Pretty much this April and last April were the same. If you take a look at specifically Inland Empire, you can see that last April, we had 4.1 months of inventory in Inland Empire and now only 3.9 in the month of April of this year. San Bernardino, pretty much the same, 4.1, 3.9. So our inventory has shrunk from year over year. And now let's get back to our more local region, the high desert. Last year we saw multiple offers. Days on market were pretty much the same as 2018. Our months of inventory, of course, did decrease, as you'll see in the slides, and we had a slight increase in pricing. And as Jason had mentioned earlier, new home construction starts did increase in 2019. So I like this slide to show kind of where our, we may say our sweet spot, our highest turnover rate in sales price. And that in the high desert continues to be between 200,000 and 350,000. The bulk of our sales are done there. And if you look, I mean, hardly any sales above 500,000. So yes, we do move homes above that mark, but it does take longer because there are fewer turnover in that price point. And I know we've all gone over a lot of numbers. I just want to remind everybody that this will be the entire presentation on cbcsymposium.com. So, and this is going to show you kind of what happened, of course, in the last recession. We had, you know, plethora of inventory and not as many sales, right? So you can see with the yellow line that we've had seasonal fluctuations And but our number of sales, of course, are down in 2019 due to the shortage of homes for sale, but still strong buyer demand. It's a supply and demand issue. So there you can see the prior recession. You can kind of see the seasonality that we've been experiencing the last few years, more of a stable market. And days on market, this graph can kind of show you, of course, we had in the recession, homes sat on the market quite a while, but we ended 2019 at 57 days on the market. And I believe one of my slides will soon show that we're at 59 days on the market last month. This graph can indicate where our average price per square foot is and sales price. And of course, here in the peak of the season, we were up at the highest at $323,000 median price and $189 a square foot. And now we're more at $280,000. So we haven't fully recovered as far as pricing on the last peak of the market cycle, whereas a lot of regions in California already have surpassed last peak median price. So we have room for growth still. And this is an overview of each of our regions in the high desert, as well as the high desert in general here up on the top line. So you can see our median price in April was $279,000. We only had 698 homes on the market. Generally last year we had 1,000 homes. In December we had about 1,000, but we probably peaked at 1,200 homes on the market. So the inventory is super tight, especially during these the pandemic. We've had even more of a shortage of inventory to sell. So only 268 homes sold last month. And we averaged $155 price per square foot. So as you can see on the left over here, we've got 59 days on the market for the high desert, 2.6 months of inventory currently. And I put a note up here. I mean, we had 27 months of inventory in 2007. I mean, we were sitting on way too many homes, complete opposite now. So a bit of a review. Of course, the trend in pending sales at the end of last year suggested a very strong start for 2020 with moderate price growth. The COVID pandemic did pause that trend briefly, but the recent activity we have seen indicates a strong return to the market. And we're still 13% lower than the peak in 2006, and our year-over-year appreciation and pricing is steady and stable. Still, the fundamentals of the market are strong. The low interest rates, lowest in 50 years, and anticipate by the economists out there say that they anticipate that the Federal Reserve will keep mortgage rates near those low rates for the rest of 2020. So again, with the active listings dropping more than 20% of year end and even dropping more recently, we have a shortage of homes for sale. Of course, there are always political uncertainties, especially in this presidential election. Those could impact the housing market. Time will tell. I'll let the economists give us a forecast on that. But what's interesting is that Americans went into these COVID pandemic months with a very strong buying power. Record levels of equity, the percent of mortgage burden in households at a 10-year low, the cleanest credit markets with high credit scores, and not a lot of price growth. So we were extremely healthy going into this. And as we've seen is just a minor pause, and then buyers, confidence and back in the market is very strong demand. So I agree with what Jason was saying earlier. It feels like a V that we're bouncing back already. And essentially it's a balanced market because we have low inventory that favors sellers and low interest rates and below peak pricing that's a buyer's advantage right now. So we do a housing report monthly. So if you are super analytical and want to see all of this, we can get that over to you. Just reach out to us. Again, it was a pleasure to be here, and I'll hand it back over to you, Jason.
You'd mentioned recovery, and we're getting back to business. I think you had mentioned in the last 2 weeks, Coldwell Banker Home Source has put 75 homes approximately pending.
Yes, absolutely.
So people are still purchasing.
Absolutely, yes.
That's
There
great.
are some that are hesitant out there, but right behind them, we have another buyer that's ready to go. So we're getting multiple offers on lots of homes. We need homes.
That's great. So again, thank you for attending our 2020 symposium. I do want to thank our sponsors, Armstrong Fairway Insurance, SCLA Logistics Airport, Desert Community Bank, Midway Home Solutions, Alaska USA Federal Credit Union, the town of Apple Valley and the city of Barstow, the city of Hesperia, CoStar, Robert Lovingood, First District Supervisor, thank you very much, Desert Valley Hospital and Desert Valley Medical Group, Enterprise Funding, Mojave Printing Solutions, Mortgage Solutions Financial, and Sterling Development. Thank you very much. This is made possible by their participation. Also, I want to thank our staff for making this possible, and also the presenters today. It's incredible information, and real quick, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. I know we covered a lot of data today and information, but if you have any questions, give us a call at 760-684-8000. This is being recorded. It will be on cbcsymposium.com along with our prior sessions, and we're here to assist you in any way. Thank you for attending today, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you very much.